Today I wanted to talk about growing your classes and your business without marketing. And this is all about the energetics and the mindset behind what you think that you can build, that you think that you can have. And we're going to get a little bit deeper and I'm going to give you some examples. But I think the mindset stuff, as most of you know, I personally believe the mindset stuff is just as important as the practical stuff. And we always try and go for, how can I market this better? How can I get more people? How can I, what practical things can I implement to build my business and to grow my classes? And a lot of the time there is a more energetic and mindset level to it, which I'm going to talk about today. And now, before you think, oh, this is just going to be woo-woo stuff, I am going to give some examples to really just make you think slightly differently. So just be open to everything that I'm saying today, and obviously post in the comments if you have any questions, or if you agree, if you don't agree, or if you have any comments to add. So let's start with growing your class numbers. So obviously you might be saying to yourself, well, I want big numbers in my classes and I want to make money, but it's not showing up. Maybe you've still got low class numbers. Maybe you're doing all you can in terms of marketing, or you think you're doing all you can in terms of marketing. I always think there's more things to do in terms of marketing as well. But you may be thinking that you're doing all that you can do, but numbers just aren't showing. And that in itself is mindset, just right there. So, sorry, we've got kittens scratching things. That in itself is mindset. If you are constantly saying, which I see a lot, people constantly saying, oh, people just aren't ready to come back after COVID, or my class numbers are just really low. If you keep saying that, that is the results that you are going to get. So you might have had that kind of mindset stuff before. It's quite common. But I think it's really true. The more you think about things, the more you say things, especially if you're saying them out loud, especially if you're posting on kind of social media, negative things like that, then that is what you're going to attract more of. But let's go a little bit deeper, one level deeper than that. Is there an underlying reason why you don't want full busy classes or to make a lot of money in your fitness business? And again, you might be thinking, well, obviously I do. Obviously I want full classes, but I'm going to give you a really good example here. So I've really resisted setting up community classes again since lockdown because it's mainly something that I don't really want to start up again. But I've set up one, and it really got me thinking about why don't I want this to be? I had loads and loads of interest, and many people have signed up. But I caught myself saying things like, oh, this isn't going to be busy, this is going to take off. I thought, why am I resisting that? Why wouldn't I want classes to be full and busy and to make money from this? And so when you really get deep, there's usually underlying reasons why you don't want your classes to be busy or full, or you don't want to make money from your fitness business. So for me, these are my personal things that have come up for me. So I have, over my fitness career and business, I've had lots of, and again, I don't want you to think about, oh, well, I haven't had anything negative like that happen to me. It could be the smallest thing. But I've had several things that have played out that have now made it feel not safe for me to have full and busy classes. For instance, when I first started in the community, I taught Zumba. I had really, really full, busy classes, and my classes continue to be full and busy. Like, I've never really had a problem with filling classes. But those first few weeks when I started my business and when I had like 60 plus people in my classes, I had instructors film my classes from the back. I had instructors put their leaflets all over my class participants' cars. So when my class participants came out of class, they had like I won't say the name of the company, but they had their leaflets on the cars. So they would, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that, trying to get people away from my class and back into their class. I don't know, it obviously came from a fear-based element. So that happened to me. Then, obviously, coming kind of like a few years down the line, I had my burnout. So I was ill. I couldn't teach at all because I was teaching 20 plus classes per week. I think you've already heard the story, but if you haven't, just a quick recap. Teaching 20 plus classes per week, absolutely drained, absolutely exhausted. All my classes were busy and full, so I didn't feel like I could give up. I didn't feel like I could stop. So my body forced me to stop, basically. So I was in hospital. Resting heart rate was 128 beats per minute. I had to take 3 months off, and I had to go back to like a full-time job for like a year just to kind of recover and reset. So that happened to me. And what else was I going to say? And also I've been a people pleaser, so you might be a people pleaser. So I've had really, again, like I said, I've never really had trouble having really full and busy classes. So I've been a people pleaser, and I've taught classes and got trained in classes because they were the biggest thing in fitness at the time, even though I didn't enjoy teaching them. And I kept classes going full because they were full, and I thought, well, I can't give this up because they're full classes and I'm making money from it, but also because everyone loved it. Even though I didn't love teaching that particular style of class, everybody loved it, so I thought I'm just going to have to keep it going. So there's three, four things there that have created, and again at the time I've just kind of brushed them off, moved on, but I feel like now they're coming up as barriers and as negative consequences to having full classes. So let me break that down. I can't have the first experience of other instructors being malicious, putting their posters, whatever, over my class participants' classes, filming my classes, has now got me feeling, well, it's not safe for me to have full busy classes because people are going to hate on me and they're going to try and take clients away from my classes, and it's not safe for me to be a successful fitness instructor because of that past experience of other fitness instructors being malicious. And I've had really big trust issues with other fitness instructors from just that 1 or 2 fitness instructors that were really nasty. And it's taken me a long time to build up trust and build up good relationships with other instructors from that as well. Then it goes on to my burnout. And so every time I set up a class now, it's like, well, what if I set up one class and then I feel like I need to set up another one and then another one, and it's all too much for me, and then I'm going to burn out again, and then I'm going to be ill again, and then I'm going to have to stop altogether again and start all over again. And so that's another underlying fear. And these, I want you to know, these aren't forefront of my mind. These are things I've had to really look inside myself and think, oh, that's why I'm subconsciously stopping success. Then it moves on to people pleasing, which is a huge one that I've worked on so much. But in my mind, I'm like, if I set up this class and everybody loves it and it's really busy, but I end up not really enjoying it, or not really enjoying the time that it's at, or not enjoying teaching it anymore, then I'm stuck. I can't give it up because people like it, and then I'm going to be doing something that I don't love, and I'm stuck with it, because that's, again, a past experience where I've kept things going because it's been popular and because people love it, even though it didn't feel aligned with me, or I kept doing because it was just making me money, even though I didn't enjoy it. So those are like the energetic mindset things that and barriers that might be stopping you in a underlying, not so obvious way, why your class numbers might be low, or why you're not making money in your business. And so it's really kind of digging deep and kind of saying to yourself, well, there has to be a reason. I'm doing all the marketing that I can. Yes, I could do more. Yes, I could maybe do better marketing, smarter marketing. But let's look at another side of things, and energetically, am I blocking it? Like, am I secretly and subconsciously not allowing myself to have full classes and busy classes? Now, yours might come from, because again, I hear this a lot recently, that people just aren't ready to come back after lockdown. Things are different now after lockdown. The world isn't the same. The fitness industry isn't the same. Nobody wants face-to-face classes anymore. All these things maybe like this that you're saying to yourself. So you might be saying those kinds of things to yourself, and they might be the underlying blocks and reasons and beliefs that you've created just in the past couple of years that might be stopping you from having full classes. Or maybe you feel subconsciously guilty if your classes are going to be busy and popular, because you know that a lot of other fitness instructors are struggling at the moment to fill their classes. So that might be, again, a block that you have, that, it's not fair for my classes to be really busy when maybe so many other people are still struggling. So then you kind of block it, or you don't show up, or you don't do the marketing, or again, you feel like you're doing everything you can, but something within you is like still blocking that success. So this you might be thinking that is so crap, and I don't believe any of that. Or it could spark something within you that is like a realization of maybe why you're self-sabotaging. Because again, that's another thing that I used to do a lot, self-sabotage. If a class was going really, really well and it was really, really popular, sometimes I would just self-sabotage that class and just be like, tell myself that it's a fluke that it's popular, and maybe cancel it. So there's loads of different things that could come up in the way of energetically blocking or self-sabotaging your fitness business being a success. So whether you believe that or not, I do a lot of mindset work. I do a lot of energetic work. So I've got 2 kittens running around. I do a lot of energetic work, and I do feel like it has a huge effect. Just thinking about coming live today and what I was going to talk about. So I was going to come live the other day with this, and I thought, I think I'm going to speak about that, because that's what I'm kind of not going through at the moment, but that's what's in the forefront of my mind at the moment. And just thinking about what I was going to come on here and do a live with, literally an hour after that, I had 2 or 3 people inquire about the yoga class that I'm setting up. So do with that what you want, but I do feel like that's an energetic match of me just thinking about, that's maybe why, and I can talk about that to you guys, and maybe you can relate to it as well. And just being aware of it clears some of it and allows you to then kind of relax a little bit and think, okay, that could be the reason why. So how can I make myself feel safe? And it might just be that, again, I do a lot of journaling, so I would just maybe write a letter to myself saying, do you know what, this happened to you in the past, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen to you now. It's safe for you to set up this class. It's safe for you to have a full class. It's safe for you to make money in your fitness business now, because you are you're a lot further along. You know more. You've already had the burnout, so you know the signs to look for if you do struggle with burnout. And just kind of reassuring myself and reassuring that subconscious side of myself, and maybe energetically, again, if you believe it, saying to the universe, it's actually okay. We can have a full and busy classes, and just having that reassurance. It might be that you create an affirmation or a mantra for yourself. It's safe for me to have full busy classes. I'm allowing that now. Everything's coming in. Everything's working perfectly for me. I'm releasing any blocks that I have around having full and busy classes. Hi, Susie. I feel this, sometimes I feel not good enough, like a fake, or I'm not as good as anyone else. So again, that imposter syndrome. And it's again, something that we just naturally tend to block ourselves with, because we have those underlying beliefs. So even if you're qualified enough, you're good enough, on a surface level, sometimes underneath we then think, but I'm not. And if I put myself out there as this expert and as this, and if people are, and that's another thing, if you might be thinking to yourself, if I have all these clients or if I have full classes, they are all going to find out that I'm not as good as I say I am. I'm not as good as they think I am. And they're all going to go away anyways. There's no point in me having full classes and me getting lots of clients, because they're just going to find out that I'm this big fat fraud, even though you know you're not, and you know you're qualified and you know you're good enough. But there's something within you that has this fear of people finding out that you're not good enough. So yeah, that is a huge part as well. And that, again, that's a part of that imposter syndrome of just this underlying belief. And if you've listened to the recent podcast I did with Louise from Boost Fit, we talk all about that imposter syndrome. And it really is, first of all, everybody has it. So you're not the only one, which kind of takes away an element of it gives you a bit of relief there. So knowing that you're not the only one. And even people like who you maybe look up to. So even things like, so I know you do Beachbody. So even all the master trainers in Beachbody and things like that, and the top coaches in Beachbody, they all probably have that imposter syndrome, but it's just not, they probably maybe don't say it often, or they just probably don't let it show. I can guarantee that every single person in the world has that feeling of, I'm not good enough, or people are going to find out that I'm not good enough, and people are not going to find out that I'm not as good as they think I am. We all have that. So that takes an element of like, okay, I can relax a little bit now, because it's not just me. Everybody feels that. But also knowing that it's kind of a fake thing. And I'm not saying it's fake, because it's very much real, because everybody has it. But knowing that it's not true, and deciding, I suppose the best word is deciding to believe that it's just maybe your ego, or it's just something that everybody has, and I'm just going to learn to deal with it. I'm going to learn to recognize it. I'm going to learn to catch myself sooner when I'm in that imposter syndrome mode. And I'm just going to have a mantra to say, even though I don't feel like I'm good enough at the moment, or even though I feel like I'm going to be found out that I'm not good enough, I know that this is not true, and I choose to take action anyway. I choose to be successful anyway. I choose to have it all. I choose to, allow it all. I choose to feel good about what I'm doing. I choose to feel good about helping people. So yeah, that's huge as well. So that might be, again, another block that you have, that you don't allow yourself to be successful. You don't allow yourself to have busy classes. You don't allow yourself to make big income, because if you do, everyone is going to find out that you are a fraud. You're not as good as they thought that you were, and you're going to lose it all anyway. So there's no point.